Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Brannis again, and this is our last worksheet that deals with the card catalog. I know you're really upset, but I hope this really has helped you understand how the card catalog works and how you can search for things here in the library. And don't forget, if you ever want to check something out, you can always email me and I'll be happy to pull it, and your mom and dad can pick it up here at school or however you decide to get your materials. So today, we are going to be talking about author. We have done keyword, we have done title, we have done subject. Series, remember, you can search that way. It's not the best way in the library because sometimes we don't get all the series and it can be a little difficult. But today, we're focusing on this. We're focusing on how to search for books in your card catalog using author. So, today on our sheet, we have this, and it says, sometimes you read a book by a certain author and it's so good, you want to read more books by that person. An author search is just what you need to find out if we have any more books by that author. So we see here, we need to find this Dav Pilkey. But the crazy thing about this is when you search for the author, you always do last name first, then comma first name last. So we actually have to rewrite this, where we would have to write, and we're just going to write next to it, Pilkey, P-I-L-K-E-Y, comma, Dav. So we type it out, P-I-L-K-E-Y, comma, space, Dav, and then we would click on that author button, and we would see what books we have by that author. So we're going to use the Destiny Library Catalog to find more materials on each of the authors listed below. We're going to type in their names and click on author. And then we're going to write down a call number and a title for one of the books for each of those authors. So our very first book here, we have Dav Pilkey again. So right underneath of it, just so you remember, you're going to rewrite it. And you're going to put his last name first, comma, space, first name last. So let's do that before we even start typing. So we are going to rewrite it because we always have to search with the last name first, comma, space, first name last. So Pilkey, P-I-L-K-E-Y, comma, Dav. So we remember that is how we search. So when we go to our card catalog, notice I am being lazy. When you're typing in the card catalog, this is for you. So notice how I didn't capitalize Pilkey or Dav, and you really don't have to when you're searching quickly on the card catalog because this is kind of a note for you. You know, when you take notes, sometimes you're not always the neatest and you kind of take some shortcuts. And so when you're typing it in the card catalog, you can kind of take some shortcuts because you're going to be writing them down the exact way later, but this is kind of just to find things quickly. So I did Pilkey, comma, space, Dav, and then I'm going to click on my author button here. And oh my gosh, we have 34 books by him. So remember, we're going to click on that show all so we don't have to click through all of them. And you know, I'm just going to choose one of them. And I'm going to choose The Adventures of Captain Underpants. And remember, you have to click on the title. You read the little summary to decide if that's what you want. Then you're going to click on See All. And remember the sublocation, if there's a young adult or preschool or 6 traits or teacher resources, you cannot check that out. So look for that sublocation. If it's blank, you're good to go. Then this will tell you, remember, if it's available or checked out, and we happen to have 2 copies that are both available. Never write down barcode. That won't help you. That won't help me. And here we have the call number again, which is F-I-C-P-I-L. So on our sheet, and if you want to choose a different book by Dav Pilkey, be my guest. I'm just choosing this one. So I'm going to write, and I'm not going to take any shortcuts this time. So I'm going to put The Adventures of Captain. And I'm just gonna put underpants below because I kind of write big. And if you want to, you can underline it, although it is kind of underlined there for you. And then we have to write that call number. And if you remember, it was F-I-C for fiction, and then the first 3 letters of the author's last name, which is P-I-L. And I always do those in caps, so I really remember how they look, and it's easy to read that way. The reason why we search by the last name first is because that is how our books are shelved here in the library. And usually when you do search for authors, whether you're searching it in the encyclopedia or you're searching it in the card catalog, you should always start off with the person's last name, because there's a lot of Daves out there, but not as many Pilkeys. So we put everything by the first 3 letters of the author's last name. So it's just easier to find that way. So it's a good habit just to kind of start getting into. If you're wondering, why are we searching that way? I mean, you can search the other way, but it's not as effective. All right, so remember, we go back to library search, and that will bring us back to our card catalog, and we are going to do another author search. So our very next one, I love this author. It is Mo Willems, and remember, we're just gonna rewrite it right away. So we remember, it's Williams, comma, space, Mo. And notice I'll be honest, when I write them out, I do capitalize them, but for some reason when I type it, I'm a little bit more lazy, and I don't. W-I-L-L-E-M-S. It's really little. Sometimes it's hard to read. And then you want to click on author. And we only have 7 of his books. So I'm just going to scroll down. Oh, I love this book. It's so funny. I'm going to click on the title. It's called I'm a Frog by Mo Willems. And of course, we have to click on see all. Nope, we can check it out. Yep, it's available. Don't write down barcode. Won't help you, won't help me. And here's that call number, EWIL. So we're going to go to our paper. And this is the book I chose. You can choose another Mo Willems book if you want. And we're not going to be lazy, so we're going to make sure that we do our upper cases and lower cases. You never capitalize A and or the when you are writing when you're writing your titles. So that is why I'm not going to capitalize A. We can underline it. And if you remember, it is an everybody book this time. So it's an E, and it is WIL, all in capitals. So the very next one is Steve Jenkins. So first thing we're gonna do, rewrite his name. Jenkins, comma Steve. And we're gonna see if we have any books by Steve Jenkins. Remember, go back to library search. And we do an author search. And we have 1 book by Steve Jenkins. So remember, you have to click on the title. You could click on the book all day long. You're not going to get anywhere. So remember, you got to click on that title. And this one is Bone, Skeleton, and How They Work. So let's make sure we can check it out. Let's go to See All. Oh, good job. It's not a young adult. We can check it out. It is available. Remember, don't write down barcode. It won't help you, won't help me. And then the call number, this is a nonfiction book. So we know that this is a real or informational book. There's a lot of information we can learn about bones and skeletons. So you don't have a choice this time. There's only 1 book you can put down for this. I'm just going to move this up a little bit here. So it is bones. And it is skeletons. And because we have our colon there, we're going to do a capital S for skeletons. And you don't capitalize that. You do capitalize how they, and then I write big, so I'm going to do work down here. I'm just going to underline it, boom, boom. And remember, this was a nonfiction book. So it is 573.76, and it is J-E-N. Okay. Oh, we might as well rewrite the last one. So Helen Lister, we're going to rewrite that. We're going to do L-E-S-T-E-R, comma, Helen. And we're going to see what books we have on her. Going back to library search, it is L-E-S-T-E-R, comma, Helen, H-E-L-E-N, author. And we have 5. And, oh, I like this one because I like to be first. And it is called Me First. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on See All. Oh, it's not a young adult or a teacher book. It is available. Remember, barcodes don't help you, don't help me. And you're going to write down that call number, which is E-L-E-S. So again, there's 5 books you can choose. I just like this one. So I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to write Me First, capitalize. And I'm going to write E because it's an everybody book, and L-E-S. And finally, the last one is, who is your favorite author? We all have our favorite authors, and you, remember, can look in your card catalog, and you can type in the author's name, last name first, comma, first name last. Click that author button. And I'm curious, if you want to email me and let me know who your favorite author is, I'd kind of like to know. If you email me, I will tell you who my favorite author is. So I'm not going to tell you unless you email me and you tell me your favorite author. So don't forget, when you do, you're going to write last name first, comma, space, first name last. And then you can email me and tell me who your favorite author is, and then I'll email you back and tell you who my favorite author is. Well, I hope you know how to use the card catalog now, and I'll see you next week. Bye.